Welcome to Listen English Story. Today's title is Capsule. Chapter 1. It all started centuries ago. The Earth was in bad shape. People needed more space and wanted freedom, so they began moving to other planets. They started colonies on one planet after another. At first, there was peace and success. The different planets worked together and depended on each other. But then things changed. The populations on these planets grew quickly, and each one needed more food and supplies. Soon, the colonies started wanting more for themselves, and that's when the trouble began. Wars broke out everywhere. Political views and agreements kept changing. Colonies fought over land, power, and weapons. In the end, only two major empires remained, the Earthlings and the Chalkians. Both wanted to rule everything. The Earthling government was based on Earth, with its capital in Paris, France. Important leaders met there to discuss things like laws, the economy, energy, and the war. The Earthlings' ruler was an old man named Valier. He had been elected many years ago, though the election wasn't fair. But Valier didn't care about that. He had led many wars and only lost a few. He was the kind of ruler who would do anything to win. One day, Valier was speaking to his ministers at the Capitol building. "We have to stop the fighting," he said. "Our empire's economy can't handle more war. Our people are hungry, our cities need roads, and many Earthlings need homes, lights, and food." A man named Aldine, who was Valier's most trusted minister, spoke up. "But sir, the Chalkians keep attacking us. We can't just sit back and do nothing. We need a strong military to protect ourselves." "I agree, but there's something we can do. I've already taken some steps." Suddenly, there was a loud noise outside the room. The door opened, and a security guard came in, holding a woman who was struggling and shouting, "Let me go. I have important news for the emperor." "Let me go." Emperor Valier looked towards the door. "What's going on?" he demanded. "I'm in the middle of a meeting." "I'm sorry, sir," the guard said. "This woman insists she has important news for you." "Fine. Go ahead. What is it?" Valier asked. The woman suddenly became very nervous. She had never spoken to the emperor before, and she started speaking slowly. My highest emperor, I'm sorry for my behavior, but I have news." "What kind of news?" the emperor asked impatiently. "Hurry up, this is an important meeting." "A capsule has landed on my farm, Emperor," the woman said. "A what?" Valier asked, confused. "A space capsule." "I think it's a Chalkian space capsule, Emperor." "How do you know it's a Chalkian capsule?" the emperor asked. "My husband fought against the Chalkians. He told me what their capsules look like." The ministers and the emperor were silent. Finally, Aldine spoke up. "Another attack. Are they attacking the capital?" "No, the woman replied quickly. "The capsule has no weapons, but there's something inside it." "Inside it?" the emperor asked, looking around the room. "What could be inside it?" "I don't know," the woman said. "I was too scared to look." The emperor called for his guards and told them to get to the farm quickly. The guards, the woman, and Aldine got into a vehicle and headed to the farm. On the way, Aldine spoke to the woman. "What's your name?" he asked. "My name is Kira," she replied. "Kira, that's a nice name. Are you a farmer?" he asked. "Yes, the farm is all I have left," Kira said. "Do you live with your husband?" Aldine asked. "My husband died in the war," Kira said quietly. Aldine felt awkward and changed the subject. "What does the capsule look like?" he asked. Kira looked at him closely. "I'd rather you see it for yourself," she said, then turned away. "All right then," Aldine said, surprised. They were silent for the rest of the trip. When they arrived at Kira's farm, Aldine and Kira got out of the vehicle and walked to the capsule. The guards stayed in the vehicle. There were marks on the ground where the capsule had landed. It was lying on its side, and it was open. "Kira, I thought you didn't look in the capsule," Aldine said. "I'm sorry. I didn't tell you the truth. I was too scared to say anything until someone else saw it." "Saw what?" Aldine asked. "Look," Kira said. Aldine slowly approached the capsule. At first, he couldn't see anything, but then he noticed something. Inside the capsule, there was a little girl. "It's a child! A child!" Aldine exclaimed. He looked at Kira in surprise. "Yes, that's why I didn't touch it or say anything. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to get a doctor, but..." "Right," Aldine thought. "The girl is unconscious. She might need medical help. We need to get help right away." Aldine ran to the vehicle and told the guards to call for a doctor. He then carefully picked up the young girl and took her inside Kira's house, placing her on a bed. Half an hour later, the girl was still unconscious. Aldine finally left the room, and Kira went with him. "So, tell me," Aldine said, "do you know anything more about the capsule?" "No, but it's Kalkian, isn't it?" Kira asked slowly. "Yes," Aldine replied. "And the child?" Kira asked. "She looks Kalkian too," Aldine said. "But why is she here? Why did they send a child?" Kira wondered. "I don't know," Aldine replied. "Maybe when she wakes up, she can tell us." "Has she really traveled across space?" Kira asked. "It seemed so. Most likely, there was a bigger spaceship. They probably put her in the capsule and left her near Earth. The capsule likely landed itself here," Aldine explained. Finally, they heard a vehicle approaching. 2 doctors arrived and immediately went to see the girl. Aldine and Kira stayed away. It was late, and Aldine looked hungry. Kira offered him something to eat. "Do you have children, Kira?" Aldine asked as he ate. "No, my husband and I wanted children, but then the war came and..." "I'm sorry," Aldine said. "It's okay," Kira said with a sad smile. As Aldine ate, he looked around. The house was nice, clean, and simple, just what you'd expect from someone living alone. Soon, Aldine noticed that Kira was watching him. "Did you want to ask me something, Kira?" he asked. "Yes," she replied. "Well, go on," Aldine encouraged. "What will you do with the girl?" Kira asked. Aldine paused, then finally told her the truth. "I don't know. I don't even know why she's here." Suddenly, one of the doctors rushed into the kitchen. "The little girl is awake. She can talk." Chapter 2. The girl from the Kalkian capsule woke up. Someone needed to talk to her. And since Aldine was a minister of the emperor, he was the one to do it. He walked into the bedroom with Kira joining him. They sat down next to the girl. The girl looked sleepy, but eventually asked, "Where am I?" Kira and Aldine were surprised. She spoke English. The girl looked around and noticed the guards, which made her very scared. The doctor gave her some medicine to calm her down, and she quickly fell asleep again. An hour later, the girl woke up and asked again, "Where am I?" She looked at Aldine and asked, "Who are you?" Her English was pretty good. Aldine replied, "Hello, my name is Aldine. This is Kira. We are Earthlings. Please stay calm." He paused and then asked, "How do you feel?" "I'm okay," the girl answered cautiously. She didn't fully trust them. Kira tried talking to her. "Hi there," she said softly. "Can you tell me your name?" "My name is Maha," the girl replied. "Everything's fine, Maha. My name is Kira, and this is Aldine. You're at my house. You were hurt, and we've been taking care of you," Kira explained. "Am I in your capital?" Maha asked, looking out the window. It was dark outside, and she could only see a few trees and fields. "It doesn't look like a city," she said, surprised. Aldine explained, "You are near the capital, but not in it. The emperor is still far from here." When Maha heard the word emperor, she became scared again. "I don't want to go home. I'm 13 now. I can make my own decisions," she shouted. Aldine was surprised. Why didn't she want to go home? Something strange was going on. "Why don't you want to go home?" he asked. "I don't like Kalkia anymore," Maha replied. "You don't like Kalkia?" Aldine asked, puzzled. "What do you mean?" "I don't want to live there anymore," Maha said. "Why do you say that?" Aldine asked. "Well, for one thing, my family is never home," Maha explained. "Yes, and," Aldine prompted, "they ignore me. They don't spend time with me. They don't care about me," Maha continued. "So your family ignores you?" Aldine clarified. "Yes, for a long time now," Maha answered. "And because you were lonely, you came here?" Kira asked. "Yes, my father is always working, and my mother is always traveling. I stay at home with caretakers. My father pays them to take care of me, but I don't like being with them," Maha said. Aldine was starting to understand. The girl had run away from home. "Just a second, Maha. Are you telling me that you left home? That you ran away?" Aldine asked. Maha looked down. "Yes," she answered. Aldine stood up and looked at the girl. "Excuse me, I need to go outside," he said. Aldine stepped outside, and Kira followed. He stood there, looking at Kira's peaceful farm, deep in thought. "What are you thinking about, Aldine?" Kira asked. "Something isn't right here," Aldine replied. "What do you mean?" Kira asked. "The girl ran away from home, but she can't fly a spaceship. She's only 13, Aldine explained. "I get it. Someone helped her," Kira realized. "Yes, but who?" Aldine wondered. "Let's find out," Kira suggested. Aldine and Kira went back inside and walked into the bedroom. "Hello," Maha said. Hello again, Aldine replied with a smile. Maha looked directly at Aldine and said firmly, I will not go home. I want to stay here. And why do you want to stay here? Aldine asked. Like I said, I don't like my caretakers, Maha answered. I don't believe you, Aldine said calmly. It's the truth. Maha insisted. Yes, but there's more, isn't there? Aldine asked. Maha sighed. Yes, there is more, she admitted. I thought so. Tell me, Aldine encouraged her. We are losing the war. People have no food. Many people have nowhere to live. We can't survive much longer. I'm frightened, Maha explained. Aldine sat down beside Maha and looked at her closely. You can stay here for now, he said. But you have to understand, our two worlds are at war. I know that, Maha said quickly. I'm 13, not 6, Aldine laughed. Then you understand. There are many things to consider, he explained. There could be big consequences because of this. It could affect both our nations. Yes, Maha said, looking down. But they still don't know where I am, she quickly added. I can just wait a few days, then I can go somewhere else. Aldine looked at her. It was time to figure out how the girl had gotten here. Maha, traveling by a capsule isn't easy. You didn't come here alone. You're too young to travel across space without help, he said. Maha looked up. You're right, she said quietly. I can't fly a spaceship. Who did then? Aldine asked. I can't tell you, Maha replied. Aldine was very patient. As a minister, he was used to dealing with people. Maha, we need to know who helped you. If we don't know that, we can't help you, he explained. Maha was silent for a moment. Then she spoke. It's. Don't worry. You're safe, Kira said gently. Maha looked at them and finally said, It's Valier, your emperor. He helped me. Aldine quickly stood up, looking at Maha with concern. Then he looked at Kira. The guards looked at all of them. Valier? Aldine said in disbelief. That can't be true. Maha looked down again. Yes, it can. I received a message from him weeks ago. He said he knew I wanted to leave. He wanted to help me, so he had his spies find me. Spies? Aldine asked, shocked. Yes, there are many Earthling spies on Kalkia, Maha explained. Aldine put his hand on his head and walked around the room, trying to make sense of it. The Emperor had helped a Kalkian child leave her home. But why? This is unbelievable, he finally said with a sigh. After a short while, Maha spoke again. Well, actually, there's more, she said quietly. Aldine turned and looked at Maha. What more could there be? He wondered. Finally, he asked, And what is that? Maha looked him in the eye. My father. What about your father? Aldine asked quietly. My father is the Emperor of the Kalkians, Maha revealed. Chapter 3. Aldine couldn't believe it. Maha was the daughter of the Kalkian Emperor. This girl could cause chaos between their worlds. All because she was lonely and thought that Emperor Valier understood her problems. What had she done? Then Aldine realized something important. It wasn't Maha's fault. She didn't fully understand what she had done. She was just a sad child who was helped by Valier, the emperor. Valier was the one responsible. What was he thinking? Aldine needed answers. Aldine left Kira's house and drove to the capital. When he arrived, he went straight to the emperor's office. But a security guard stopped him. "You can't enter," the guard said. Aldine was shocked. "What? Do you know who I am?" "I'm a minister." "The emperor's orders. You can't go in," the guard replied. Aldine didn't know what to do. He had to talk to Valier. Without thinking, Aldine hit the guard on the head. The guard fell, and Aldine took his weapon and entered the office. The emperor was sitting in his chair, looking worried. "Aldine, what do you want?" he asked. "Why didn't I know about the girl?" Aldine demanded. "What girl?" Valier replied. "Don't play dumb. I'm not stupid," Aldine said. Valier paused, then gave up the act. "All right, what do you want to know? Why is the Chaldean emperor's daughter here? Why did you do this?" "We don't use children." Aldine's voice grew stronger. Valier stood up and shouted back, "We don't lose wars either." Aldine was taken aback. "Why didn't you tell me?" he asked. Valier sighed. "I didn't tell you because I knew you wouldn't agree. I didn't want you to stop me." Aldine knew Valier was right. He would never have approved of involving a child in a war. "What are you going to do with her?" Aldine asked. "With Maha, we'll take care of her." "She's just a child," Valier replied. Aldine didn't trust him. "I meant, what will happen when the Chaldeans find out? Will she be harmed?" "Good questions," Valier said calmly. Aldine looked at Valier, waiting for answers. Valier continued, "The Chaldeans know Maha ran away, but they don't know where she went. They don't know Earthling spies helped her, so they don't really know anything." He watched Aldine carefully, trying to gauge his reaction. "And if they find out you helped her?" Aldine pressed. "They won't find out. No one knows except you," Valier said confidently. Aldine was still confused. "But why involve a child? Why take her away from her parents?" "Because of who her parents are," Valier explained, looking at Aldine like he was missing something obvious. "We have the emperor's daughter now. We can use her to control the Chaldean emperor. For power, for anything." Valier studied Aldine's face, trying to see if his words were having an effect. "Do you understand now?" Valier continued. "We can use Maha to get what we want. The Chaldean emperor is in our hands, all because his little girl felt ignored." Valier laughed, a cold, chilling laugh that made Aldine uneasy. Aldine looked at Valier, a man he once trusted. Now he only felt disgust. Valier was using a child for his own gain, and Aldine couldn't let that happen. Aldine forced a smile and said, "I understand perfectly, Emperor, as you wish." Then Aldine quickly left the office and walked through the capital streets. Aldine didn't like what was happening, but he couldn't show it. If Valier found out he was against him, Aldine could be killed. There was only one person Aldine could trust, someone Valier couldn't influence. He had to talk to her. Aldine took a vehicle and drove to Kira's farm. He knocked on her door. "Kira, are you there?" he called. Kira opened the door. "Yes, what's going on? Is the girl still here?" Aldine asked. "Yes, they haven't taken her to the capital yet," Kira replied. "Good," Aldine said. "But a vehicle is coming to get her?" Kira added. "Oh no, we have less time than I thought." "We need to hurry," Aldine said nervously. "Take me to her." Aldine and Kira went to the bedroom where Maha was sleeping peacefully. "We need to go," Aldine said. Go where?" Kira asked, confused. "Where are the guards?" Aldine asked, looking around. "They're at the capsule," Kira replied. "Good," Aldine said. "Now's our chance." "Chance for what?" Kira asked, still confused. "To take Maha away," Aldine answered. Kira sat down, looking at Maha. The girl looked comfortable for the first time. "You want to take her out of the capital?" "No, I want to take her off the planet," Aldine replied. "What? Why?" Kira asked, shocked. "Maha is a lonely, confused girl. Valier just wants to use her. He plans to use Maha to control the Chalkian Emperor," Aldine explained. Kira couldn't believe it. "What do we do now?" she asked. "We need to get her home. If we don't, she's in danger," Aldine said. "We?" Kira asked. "Yes, we. I can't do this alone, Kira. I need your help," Aldine said. Kira thought for a moment. She looked at the little girl, then at her farm. Finally, she looked at Aldine and said, "What do I have to lose?" Kira told Maha they were going to the capital. They all got into Aldine's vehicle, and he drove for hours to the nearest space station. On the way, Maha slept. When they arrived, Aldine told the guards they were on secret government business. The guards promised not to say anything. Aldine and Kira carried Maha to a spaceship and left the station without any trouble. Maha woke up when the spaceship took off. She wasn't happy, but Aldine knew they were doing the right thing. The journey across space took several weeks. When they neared Chalkia, Aldine spoke on the radio. "This is Earthling ship 12,913. I need to speak with the Chalkian Emperor. I am Minister Aldine of the Earthlings." A guard replied, "Why do you want to speak with our Emperor?" "We have his daughter," Aldine said. The radio went silent. Soon, a warning appeared on Aldine's computer screen. Chalkian military units were approaching the spaceship. Suddenly, the radio crackled to life again. "Give us Maha, or you will die," a voice said. "You won't kill us," Aldine replied confidently. "I need to speak with your emperor, now." The radio was silent again. After a few minutes, a powerful voice came on the radio. "This is the Chalkian Emperor," the voice announced. "Give me my daughter, and I'll spare your lives. We will give you Maha on one condition," Aldine said. They waited. "What is it?" the Emperor asked. "There must be peace between Earth and Chalkia," Aldine replied. The Emperor was silent for a moment. "Why should I believe you?" he asked. "Because we've brought your daughter back," Aldine said. "Because I know the war has been hard for everyone. Think of the economic problems, the hunger, and the suffering." Both our worlds are at their limits. This must end. The radio was silent again. Finally, the emperor's voice returned, softer this time. "I agree," he said with a sigh, "and I accept. Bring me my daughter, and we will work toward peace." Thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed the video.